in today's world in all different types of forms. So tonight we have Susanna Centlivre, and we're gonna experience this one-act comedy. It runs about 35 minutes. And I'd like to just talk a little bit about the playwright before we begin. And then I will introduce our readers, and then we shall enjoy the play. And after the play, I'm going to speak a little bit more about the influence and the impact of the playwright and her work. And if there's still time, then I will throw a few questions out to our audience as well as to our performers. So Susanna Centlivre was born in 1669 and died in 1723. She was baptized Susanna Freeman in Lincolnshire, England. Her father was a dissenter and a parliamentarian. As a result, the family faced much persecution during the Restoration Age. She is known as one of the most successful playwrights of her time. Also one of the most performed female playwrights after her death. At least one of her plays was performed for nearly 200 consecutive years. Her plays are known for their tightly constructed and fast-paced intrigue plots. Her works bridge the Restoration era and the Augustan age while striking a progressive chord by featuring strong and sensible female characters who want it all. Susanna was considered one of the most important for her merit and influence with her comedies of intrigue, which are also known as the comedy of situation, where dramatic action is prioritized over development of character. Her farcical humor and contrived or ridiculous dramatic situations are often employed, and we are going to see some of that this evening. So this is the very first play that Susanna Centlivre wrote in probably in the late 1600s. It was performed and produced in the 1700s. And it has two titles, The Adventures of Venice. And also when she expanded this play into a much longer 5-act tragedy, it was called The Perjured Husband. And it actually closed after one night. So it was not well received. However, she did not give up, but this was the last time she wrote a tragedy. So all her other plays are comedies, which is interesting. So it is now that I would like to welcome our performers, our readers to the virtual stage. If you could please turn on your cameras, readers, because I would like to introduce you to our audience just before we begin. So we have Trina Moyen playing the role of Lady Pizalta this evening. And we have Henry Tran playing the role of her husband, Pizalto. We have McKenna Ramsey playing the role of her servant, Lucy. And finally, we have James Hyatt playing the role of Ludovico, her love interest. So yes, we have a husband and a love interest because this is a woman who wants it all. And of course, we have backstage, Maisa Basada, who is our amazing sound engineer and crafting all the music and sound effects that will go alongside our virtual backgrounds and our props and our period appropriate costumes, just to help bring the world of the play to life. So with that all being said, I'm going to pass it over to Maisa Basada to begin the play. Actors, please take your places, and audience, please enjoy.
Oh, Lucy, I'm undone. That stranger there has charmed my heart. I feel the power of conquering love. Quickly tell me, what shall I do to ease this racking passion?
Nay, madame, I fancy your passion has little occasion for lenitives. It blazes so violently at first, 'tis like to be soon extinguished.
Oh, dear Lucy, don't trifle with me, but contrive. Imagine, do anything to bless thy lovesick mistress with the sight of that dear man. And as an earnest of further rewards, here, take this.
Oh, madame, I receive your commands with much joy, but your present with more. I'll try what this projecting brain can do, and if you step in the next room, I'll soon give an account of my proceedings. Sir, one word with you.
Your business.
May one ask you a civil question and be resolved?
A civil question, sayest thou? What's it, prithee, a night's lodging? If so, pull off thy mask, and I'll resolve thee instantly, but I never strike bargains in the dark.
I don't know, sir, but it may tend to that, by way of proxy, at the long run. But at present, my commission reaches no further than to know your lodgings. If anything comes on't, I fancy 'twill not displease you.
This is but a pettifogger in intrigues, I find. Egad, I'm like to be pretty well employed during the carnival. Well, considering I am a stranger here, this hit may be a lucky one, and the lady handsome, I'll fancy her so at least. What, but for the pleasure of expectation.
What are you studying, sir? Are you so long resolving whether you shall accept a lady's favor or no?
No, fate, child. I am not over-scrupulous in those matters. Let her be but a woman, and we shan't disagree. And so thou mayst tell her.
Frank and easy. A la mode de Paris. Well, these indifferent sparks charm more than all your cringing fops. Now for my business. Let me see. I'll to my lady. She'll write, I'll carry the letter, and the devil will turn saint if I don't bring them together and merit a further recompense. By coupling, many have their fortunes made. I want only preferment, not my trade.
What news from your lady?
This will inform you, sir.
A letter. Though it may seem improper for one of my sex to make the first step in an amour, yet you ought to consider that the rigorous confinement we are under all the year round may, in some measure, excuse the liberties we take during the carnival. If you have the courage to meet me, I shall be at 4 in the afternoon in the Piazza de Spagna, invisible to all but yourself. Well, I believe all women in Venice are wild for gallants.
Sir, what answer shall I to my lady?
Egad, I am in doubt whether I shall throw my time away on this intrigue or no. Hark ye, child. Step into the next chamber, and I'll answer your message instantly. Let me see. Monday at 2 in the afternoon, I am to see Signora Bellezza at her nurse's. She's a pretty rogue, and so I'll go. At 3 of the clock, Signora Dorinda, the senator's wife, at the Indian house. Pshaw, she's an old acquaintance. I shan't go. At half an hour past 3, the Countess Wrinkle, who presented me with a gold-hilted sword. Silly fool. Does she think I'll bestow one of my visits on an old, shriveled piece of antiquity for a trifling present? Not worth above 3/4 pistoles? At 4:15, my seamstress Dorothy Steenkirk, who supplies me with linen. Oh, you know, this visit may be put off for a new intrigue. And so I'll acquaint the messenger.
Did you deliver my letter to Ludovico, Lucy?
Madame, I did. I found him in his study, reading the Lover's Watch, which he swears does not agree with his constitution. He hates injunctions of love like those of penance. For one, says he, is no more pleasurable to the body than the other beneficial to the soul.
What a fine gallant. I'm like to have these principles. Well, what did he say to a summons from a woman of my quality? Did he not make him wish the sign of assignation were sooner than the appointment in the letter?
First, he hummed over your billet, and pausing a while, he desired me to stay for an answer in a next room. Then coming to me, he asked me what countrywoman you were, for, said he, if she should prove an old acquaintance, I would use her dimably. But when I assured him you never saw the outside of these walls, he began to have that desire which all men have to a new face.
Very well. And what then?
He straight inquired whether you were black, brown, fair, old, young, maid, wife, or widow. I told him you was a wretched wife to an old, impotent, rich, covetous, noble Venetian, beautiful, young, generous, and of fair complexion. He hugged me at the word, seemed transported with the news, and swore that in intrigues a wife was most suitable to his temper, for, said he, there's neither children to father nor honor to repair, and where his pockets and liberté are safe, he's contented to venture his body and soul.
Oh, excellent, Maxime.
In short, madame, he says he had several bills of this nature drawn upon him of late, and how much his stock may be exhausted, he knows not. But however, he'll meet you, and if he cannot answer your expectation, he'll give you earnest.
You talk merrily, girl. I hope you did not tell my name. I should be loath to trust a man of his character with my reputation at first dash.
No, madame, I only told your quality.
That's well. Oh, reputation. What several sorts of slavery do we undergo to preserve thee? For to be thought virtuous, we are forced to be constantly railing against vice, though our tongues and maxims seldom agree.
Alas, madame, that pretense is grown too common, for the men now take it for granted that lady is very near surrendering when she once holds out the flag of defiance.
Well, men use us very barbarously. They will neither suffer us to be honest, nor allow us to be thought so. Here, take this key and secure everything that concerns my reputation. And if my husband wakes ere I come back, you may easily find some excuse to prevent his inquiries. For the Carnival allows us more liberty than at other times we dare pretend to. I know thy honesty and will rely upon it.
Yes, indeed, madame. I am honest at the bottom. Good luck attend you, madame. Oh, heavens, here's my lord. Madame, madame, madame. Oh, Lord, what shall I say now that she's gone? My lord, could you speak up? I can't quite hear you. Oh, maybe it's for the best, I don't know.
Yes, Lucy, don't call your lady, for I have a word or two to say to thee in private, and I've waited for this lucky opportunity for a great while.
Now, Venus be praised, I hope he has some business of his own, that he might give my lady an opportunity to mind hers.
Well, Lucy, well, canst thou guess my business now?
No, indeed, sir. But I'm sure an old man's business can't be that great.
Here, child, take this. We'll tell thee. Look in it. Look in it, I say. Ah, thou hast a pretty pouting lip, a delicate roguish eye, such an ogle, such a cast. Ah, rogue, faith, thou art very pretty. And in short, if anyone rival thy lady, it will be thee. Lucy. Ye God, I have fire in me yet.
Oh, my conscience, and little too. I believe, yet I wish he has enough to serve my ends. I'll make my fortune. Lord, sir, what do you mean? I rival my lady? Heaven forbid, I would not injure so good a woman for the world.
Oh, pshaw, where's the injury done to her, child? Adad, I'll give thee 100 crowns.
No injury, you say, my lord. What? I wonder you should be so jealous of my lady and preach such religious maxims to her when your own principles are quite the opposite.
Oh, look ye, child, a man may do that which would look abominable in a wife. A woman's reputation is a nice thing.
'Tis so, and therefore 'tis but reason I should take care of mine.
Pretty, no more that thy reputation shall be safe. I'll marry thee to my gentleman.
Gentleman? Valet? Faugh. And what good will 100 crowns do me when my virginity is gone? Indeed, if you loved me as much as you say, and would make my fortune, for I should love extremely to be a lady. I cannot tell how far you might persuade me. I know my reputation would be safe in your hands.
Make thy fortune. May I have known some of our nobles marry a wife with less than 100 crowns. But Adad, thou art a charming girl, and therefore I'll make it 100 pistoles. What say thou now, Lucy? Ah? Adad, I must bust thee. Ah, rogue, methinks I'm a young, lusty, vigorous fellow again. Thou shalt find I am.
I believe I shall fail you, old gentleman. Well, my lord, make it 1,000 pistoles, and I am yours. Else I'll die a maid, I am resolved.
1,000 pistoles? Why, thou art the most unconscionable wench in Italy. Why, 'tis a price for a duchess in some countries. Come, pretty, be reasonable, Lucy.
Reasonable? Why don't you ask a reasonable thing? Look you know my mind. I'll not bate a penny. Well, I'll warrant my lady will give me at least 200 for my discovery.
Hoot's life, she won't tell my wife, sure. I'm ruined if she does. I'd rather give her 2,000. Oh, Lucy, sweet Lucy, pretty, come back. Faith, thou art so charming. I can deny thee nothing. Come, it shall be what thou wilt. Come now, Rogue, let's retire to thy chamber.
Nay, nay, no entering the premises till you have paid the purchase.
Hadad, thou art a wag. Come in then, and I'll discharge the debt. Thou art a cunning gypsy.
You shall have reason to say so, ere I have done with you, old gentleman. For I am resolved to show you a trick and preserve my virtue. For base men within my power did fall. To avenge my injured sex, I'd jilt them all, and would but women follow my advice. They should be glad at last to pay our price.
Not come yet, ungrateful man. Must a woman of my quality wait? Have we lost our power since creation, when the whole world had but one single Lord, whom every creature readily obeyed? Yet he, that mighty bee caught with a smile, flew to the embraces of the tempting fair, but now each puny sinner dares to cross. Oh, are you come, Signor? I suppose you have some other assignation that might you miss. My hour, pursue it, pray. I'll not interrupt you. Your servant. I hope he'll not take me at my word.
Nay, nay, signora, why is this passion? You sent me a challenge, and I, like a man of courage, am come to answer it. Pray don't let a quarter of an hour break squares. I own it was a fault to make a lady wait. But friends, madame, friends and good wine are the devil. Come, I'll make you amends.
Friends and good wine? I suppose those friends were female ones.
No, fate. You shall judge of that. But suppose they were? Why should you be angry that I did not fly with the desired haste, as long as I am come time enough to give you satisfaction? Besides, I ain't seen your face yet, and for aught I know, it mayn't reward my compliment in coming now. Prithee, child, unmask, and then I'll tell thee more of my mind.
Oh, the devil take this fellow, and yet methinks I love him for his indifferency. You talk as if you were unskilled in the art of love. Don't you know that expectation feeds more than 20 tasted pleasures?
Some sort of fops it may, but I'm none of those. I never give my opinion of a dish till I've tasted. Neither do I care to dine often on one sort of meat without changing the sauce. But when that cloud's withdrawn, how long I shall keep my resolution, I know not.
Say you so? Why then the only way to preserve your appetite is to feed you slenderly, or only let you see the food, but not to taste?
Faith, madame, I'm no chameleon, but flesh and blood. Therefore these prescriptions are of no use. One sight of that dear charming face of yours would be more obliging to your humble servant.
Well, sir, what think you? Is there anything in this face worth your regard?
Ah, by heaven, an angel! Oh, madame, now blame yourself for my neglect. Blame yourself, for had you sent a picture of her, in whom all those beauties center, I had in this place waited the coming of my goddess, or rather flown on the wings of eager love to meet my fair, though in the arms of 10,000 dangers. Say, my charming angel, do you forgive me? But why do I ask? Your eyes assure me you do. At least, I'll force a pardon from these dear, soft, ruby lips.
Hold, been so lavish, a sparing gamester is the likeliest to keep in stock, whilst a profuse hand at one cast throws all he has away.
To fear that were to doubt your charms, in which a lover is sure to find constant supplies. But we lose time. Let's retire to my lodgings, where I'll give thee the best proofs of my love that I can.
Well, he's a charming fellow. How happy are the wives in France and England where such as he swarm.
Come, madame, come! What do you mean by this delay? Consider I'm a man, a mortal, wishing, amorous man.
And consider I'm a woman.
Aye, that I know. At least I hope to find you such, or I would not be in such haste.
And I have a reputation to preserve.
Oh Lord, what a damned turn is here. Reputation, you say? Egad, I find all women make pretense to that mysterious world. What? Are not you married, madame?
Yes, what then?
Why, then you have a reputation to preserve, that's all.
Oh, sir, yes, and all in all to me. Do you consider what country we're in, sir?
Yes, faith, madame, and what constitution I am of too. I know murder is as venial a sin here as adultery is in some countries, and I am all too apprehensive of my mortal part not to avoid danger. Therefore, madame, you have an infallible security. If I should betray you, I bring myself into jeopardy, and of all pleasures, self-preservation is the dearest.
A very open speaker, I vow.
Aye, madame, that's best. Hang your creeping, cringing, whining, sighing, dying, lying lovers. Pugh. Their flames are not more durable than mine, though they make more noise in the blaze. And the whining way of wooing, loving was designed as sport.
The deuce take me if this fellow has not charmed me strangely. Well, the carnival is almost over, and then I must be shut up like a nun again. Hey, ho, this time will be so short.
Let's make the better use of it then, my dear. We will consider when we have nothing else to do, but at present there's a matter of the greatest moment, which I must impart to you. Therefore, come, dear rogue, come.
Oh, hold. I have outsaid my time and must return home instantly to prevent discoveries.
Fate, madam, this is not fair, to raise a man's expectation and then disappoint him. Would you be so served yourself now?
I'll endeavor to disengage myself from my jealous husband and contrive another meeting.
But will you be sure to meet me again?
I give you my hand as a pledge.
And I this kiss in return. Adieu, my charmer.
Signor, farewell. Well, thou'rt an admirable girl. What would half the ladies in Venice give for such a servant?
Truly, you have reason to say so, for it is not the first intrigue I've managed for you. Oh, dear madame, your ladyship does me too much honor. But how do you like your new servant, madame?
Oh, above all men living, Lucy. He has the most bewitching conversation I ever met with. Say, is there no way to contrive a second meeting? For I'm impatient till I see the dear man again. The end of the carnival draws near, which is indeed the end of my life, for then I must be cooped up with age, condemned to an eternal coughing, spitting, snoring, and ill nature. Then let me make the best of life, since hell cannot have a worse plague in store than I have felt already.
Indeed, madame, I pity you, and wish 'twere in my power to free you from this old withered log, but though that's impossible, yet I may do you some little services to make life's tedious journey pleasant. Let me see. I have it! What would you say now, madame, if I should contrive a way to have your lover in your own bedchamber?
Oh, that were worth the king's revenue. Speak quickly. How, good Lucy?
Why, thus. He shall put on my clothes, and in my place attend you.
Oh, rare contrivance. But my husband, Lucy.
Oh, let me alone, madame, to manage him. He is defective in sight, you know, and not mistrusting anything, will not be over-curious. But if he should, I have a way to bring you off. My life on't. This plot may be of some use to my design. I'll manage it carefully.
Oh, the pleasure of hearing my husband like coughing and calling me to bed, and my answering him, I'm coming, dear. And while he imagines me in the next room undressing, I'm happy in the arms of my Ludovico.
Is that all? We must have t'other pity first. I will, madame, and you may expect your lover instantly. But madame, What's to be done with your brocade nightgown that you tore last night? It can ne'er be mended handsomely.
Nothing to be done without a bribe, I find, in love as well as law. Well, Lucy, if you manage this intrigue with care and secrecy, the gown is yours.
Madame, my lord desires to speak with you. I'll go about your business. Your ladyship's humble servant.
Tell him I'm coming.
Ah, my little female Mercury, what message bringst thou? Will thy lady bless me with another sight? How, when, where? I'm all in a flame.
Come along with me, sir. I'll help you to an extinguisher presently.
If thou meanst thy lady, with all my heart, but I can tell thee she'll rather prove oil than what thou speak of. But say, where am I to see my lovely charmer?
In her chamber.
Good, but how the devil can that be done?
Nay, without the help of a conjurer, I assure you. If you dare take me for your pilot, I'll warrant you success in your voyage. I'll set you safe in the island of love. 'Tis your business to improve the soil.
I'll warrant thee, girl. Do you but bring me there once, and if I play not my part, may I never more know the pleasure of an intrigue.
Which, if I mistake not, is the greatest curse can fall on you. Well, you must suffer a small metamorphosis. What think you of personating me a little? That is, dressing in my clothes and waiting on your mistress in her bedchamber, huh?
Egad, I'm afraid I shall make but an awkward chambermaid. I'm undisciplined in dressing a lady's head.
Oh, sir, your commission won't reach so high as that. I believe my lady will excuse little matters. You can undress, I suppose.
Oh, the best and quickest of any man in Venice. But a poxont, canst find no other way. I like petticoats in their proper places, but I don't care to have my legs in them.
And so you resolve against it?
No, not absolutely resolved, child, but...
But what, sir?
Nothing. I will follow thy directions, whatever comes on't. Now lead the way, for nothing suits better with me, my humor, than a friend, a bottle, a new mistress, and a convenient place.
Well, my wife's a fine woman. Very fine woman. But the pox, she is a wife still. And this young jade runs in my head plaguely. Well, here it is under my hand. 1,000 pistoles. A great sum for a maidenhead, as maidenheads go nowadays. Had I been young now. Oh, are you come? Here, Lucy. Here's a fortune for thee, worth 20 maidenheads a dot. I have not so much money with me at present, but there's security.
Your lord's funds is sufficient. Well, but I am satisfied with my reputation, and it's safe with your lordship, or twice the sum should have not prevailed. Go to my chamber, my lord. I'll but step and see if my lady wants anything, and I'll be with you instantly.
Oh, you won't stay, Lucy? Girl, bust thy lady's Chucky. Now do now.
Oh, Lord, I'm not here. We shall be discovered.
Well, thou art a cunning sinner. Make haste, Lucy, dost hear?
You're in a mighty haste, old gentleman, but I shall deceive you. My end is gained, my fortune made. Man has not me, but I have man betrayed.
Why makes this young jade stay so long? Don, this is to pay beforehand. Methinks I hear a laughing and giggling in my wife's apartment. I must know whence their mirth proceeds. Oh, here's Lucy coming. Harkye you, pray, why did you make me wait so long? Nay, I'm resolved you shan't escape me now. Oh, Benedicite! What we have here, a man disguised in my wife's chamber, and I'm unarmed? Oh, cursed minute, speak, thou wicked prophet, thou son of iniquity, what comest thou here for? Oh, thou priest of Baal, to offer sacrifices on the altar of my wife? Oh, my head, my horns weigh down to the ground already. Within air, bring me my sword and pistols.
A pox on all petticoats! What the devil shall I say now? Oh, for a sword! That would be of more use to me now than my tongue.
Oh, thou wicked, fallacious woman!
What ails my dear Chucky? Why dost thou call for my arms, dearie?
To cut down that vile creeper which overruns my garden of virtue.
Now, impudence assist me. Oh, heavens, what's here? A man in disguise. A thief it must be. Raise the servants. Oh, heaven, we might have had all our throats cut in our beds. Now, for Lucy, for I am at a loss to come off.
No, I warrant you know he's more gentle in bed.
Oh, the devil! What does she mean? Death, hell, and furies! If I come off now, catch me at this spot again and hang me.
Oh, are you there, mistress? How came this man here in your clothes? Huh, gentlewoman?
Oh, confidently, she asked the question, poor lady, as if she knew nothing of it. Now I must bring her off, for reasons you must not know, madame.
Ah, thou wicked pair of bellows to blow the fire of iniquity! Why, thou art the very casement through why mistress sucks the air of abomination. Tell me, I say, how he came here, and for what, and be sure it be a substantial lie, or it will not pass.
All my hopes are in her impudence. Harkye, sir, one word with you. Do you remember our agreement tonight?
Why? What of that, huh?
Then imagine what I designed that gentleman for. I'm honest, sir, that's all.
Oh, I'm honest, sir, that's all. Honest? With a pox, what? And so you honestly provided the companion for my wife in my absence, huh?
No, sir, I designed him for your companion in my absence. This is the business he was dressed for. Therefore, no more words, but believe my lady honest, or all shall out.
Hold the devil! This shan't pass, hussy. Do you think I'll be cuckolded, jilted, bubbled, and let it pass for a Christmas gamble? Adon, give me my bond again. Or?
No, hold there, sir. Women and lawyers never refund a fee. But 'tis your best way to be patient now. I'll not take blows.
Why mayn't I know the business?
I am mistaken. You have not known too much business already. But I am right enough served. I had more ground than I could manage. I had no need of my neighbors.
Right, my lord. Ground that lies fallow will breed weeds in time, but yours is clear yet.
Damn your jests. I shall expect a better account. Do you hear, Lucy? And as for you, I'll send a servant to see you out of doors.
Well, this was an admirable lift at a pinch. She has brought me off now, and if e'er they catch me at this music again, I'll give 'em leave to make me an Italian singer. No more intrigues in disguise. Ugh. If it had not been for the waiting woman now, I might have been hanged for a thief.
What, all amort, signor? No courage left?
Fate, not much. I think I've lost my manhood with my breeches. This transformation may suit with gods, but not with mortals of my humour. Come, prithee, good Mistress Lucy, help me to my proper shape again. For, though I have a natural inclination to petticoats, I hate them upon my own back.
I hear Count Bassino's music. He gives a mass tonight. you're already dressed for a masquerade. Won't you stay and take a dance?
Egad, I'd rather dance a jig with thee elsewhere. Faith, thou'rt a pretty girl, and hast a good deal of wit, too. But then, poxont, thou'rt honest, thou sayest. You cannot swallow a pill, except 'tis gilded over with matrimony.
And that turns your stomach, I warrant.
Why, oui, Faith, my stomach is damned squeamish in these matters. Yet, egad, if I could find one with half as much money as thou hast wit and beauty, I'd marry and live honest.
That is, you'd marry her money?
One with the other, child. There's no living on love, thou knowest. Though Faith, I could live well enough too.
Well, suppose I help you to a lady with a round sum. You'd keep your word and marry her?
I am a gentleman. I scorn to break my word.
Well, sir, come to the mask, and I'll engage you a mistress if you're not over curious.
With all my heart. I'm now resolved to leave this wenching trade, for no man's safe upon a hackneyed jade. The allay of danger makes the pleasure pain. A virtuous wife will always be fame. Ah, Mistress Lucy, I'm come, thou seest. I expect thou shalt be as good as thy word, child. Is the lady here?
The lady is forthcoming, if you are still of the same mind.
My lover, here, hark ye, Lucy.
By and by, madame, I'm catering for myself now. Well, sir, will 2,000 pistoles do?
I must humor her. I, child.
Well then, I take you at your word, sir, and can produce the aforesaid sum, with a little of your assistance, my lord.
A pretty wife I am like to have here. Catch me there if you can.
Huh? How's that?
How? Mistress Lucy worth 2,000 pistoles.
Aye, and I have a very good paymaster for one half of it too. Do you know this hand, my lord?
Confound your jilted sneer.
What, 1,000 pistoles a dish, my lord? I hope you don't change often.
Hussy, I'll be revenged. 'Tis all false. 'Tis counterfeit.
But it had been current coin if I'd suffered you put your stamp on it in my bedchamber, my lord.
How, mistress, have you tricked my husband out of 1,000 pistoles and never told me of it?
Nay, madame, don't frown. Remember, you have tricked him out of something too, which I never told him of. Don't urge me to more discoveries.
So, here's trick upon trick. But Faith, you shall never trick me out of my liberté. I'm not so fond of a wife to marry a chambermaid, though with 10 times as much money. And so, sweet mistress, your humble servant.
The jade has me upon the hip. I must be silent. She who has her husband's bed abused can ne'er expect she should be better used.
Oh, what my lover gone? With all my heart, better now than after, for whilst I have my fortune in my own hands, I must have no need to sue for a separate maintenance and get nothing for it neither. When winds rage and the seas grow high, they bid mankind beware, but when they smooth and calm the sky, 'tis then they should ensnare. So the bright day's kindness shows, by frowning on her lovers, for ruin only from her flows, when she her charm discovers.
Yes, thank you, thank you. I'm envisioning standing ovation, so thank you so much. Some great lines in that little playlet. I should have introduced that the love interest, Ludovico, he is a French man, which is why he is speaking in a French accent. He is at the carnival in Venice, just a little background. So before I bring the amazing performers back, I just want to chat a little bit about influence and impact with Susanna Centlivre. So this play was Centlivre's attempt to present a play that did not follow the popular Restoration comedy. This short play was turned into a longer play, as I mentioned before, a 5-act play with the perjured husband, and it ended as a tragedy with 3 murders, which was very unsettling for a British aristocratic crowd at the time. So she was really trying to push out of the typical formulaic form that the plays were taking at that time to offer something new. However, didn't quite work out for her on that particular occasion. And she never wrote a tragedy again. The unique thing about this particular play is that a character of lower status, Lucy, the servant chambermaid, is the one that's calling all the shots. She's in fact the protagonist. She's the one that is creating the action, and never before had a lesser character. Servants were usually there just to walk on, say, 1 or 2 words or lines and walk off. But this play is actually about Lucy and her struggle with her status and trying to change her status. So Susanna Centlivre featured, as you can see, self-empowering female heroines, and she brings a new gender perspective to the post-Restoration stage. She had a quest for simple equality between the sexes, and she challenged the treatment of women and the idea of forced marriages in 17 out of her 19 plays. Instead of concentrating on 1 or 2 issues, Centlivre included mixed elements of feminine trials, such as male infidelity, wobbly social and economic ranks, betrayal by other women, and the silencing of women's voices. And most importantly, the inability for women to have a voice in their own affairs. After this play, her other plays, the dialogues between the female characters seldom included men in their conversations. And she was also the first to introduce androgynous characters in her later plays, and she wrote women characters with traits that were usually assigned to men. Due to the censorship of theater at this time, which was very intense, Susanna Centlivre cleverly implanted metaphors into her scripts, masquerading as witty dialogue. And finally, Centlivre's heroines work hard to assert their rights to citizenship, including possession of their own property after marriage. And if they don't get a male suitor, or they are indifferent, or they become indifferent and they philosophize instead about single life rather than weeping and crying and chasing after the man, as we saw in the end of Adventures of Venice. So it is at this point that we have a few moments left, and I'd just like to bring back our performers, if you can please return to the stage, and also our sound technician, Maisa Basada. I did just have a few quick questions that I wanted to pose to audiences and artists. And audience, you can just answer yes or no in the chat box, and performers, you can just raise your hand or not. But I'm wondering if anybody here, after all we've learned about Susanna Centlivre, has ever heard of her before tonight. Does anyone have any past knowledge of Susanna Centlivre? What about in our, yes, McKenna, okay. And James, all right. Because I'd never heard of her before I started studying her in this play, and I come from a heavy theater background, so that was a little surprising to learn. The other question I had is the themes in the play. Any thoughts about what kinds of themes exist in the Adventures of Venice? Misa, thanks for volunteering.
I think that it's about he and she can be as deceitful and terrible as each other, and I do think that it was about how Lucy was gonna change up. Like, she was just watching all of this and was ready to come forward. Like, she's sort of a background character, but she's actually, the smartest one, and that she can take control of her life, and she can marry him because she can be a lady, or she can say, I don't care, I'm a free woman now. And I think that's like a great theme, that the choice that she gave to this woman. She gave her a choice to do what she wanted, and she was good either way. And I think that's really empowering. That's what I think.
Awesome. Great answer, Misa. Let's hear from McKenna and then from Henry.
Obviously, looking at my lines, and especially Trina's lines as well, the word reputation comes up. I have to protect my reputation. We literally say, she's like, reputation holds us back from doing what we want, but at the same time, it's like, it's a force that is both protective, but also incredibly harmful and controlling. We are controlled, like, Pizzolto's like, I'll protect your reputation. It's sort of like men controlling women through reputation. It is abominable in a wife to do the things that a husband does, right? It's because for men, reputation doesn't really matter. You can be a sex worker like Ludovico, you could be a lord, and you can kind of just do whatever you feel.
Yeah, exactly. And Henry?
Yeah, I just to echo on that, I think it's like that the themes focus on that. They play with the whole social economical status of things. Like you may have the rich Pizzolto and the lady Pizzolta, but then you have of course the maid in this case. But even though regardless of where they rank, their wits will still be more valuable in the end of the day when you get out of it, because you're like, okay, just because you have this money, you have all this power, doesn't mean you're the smartest, you're the greatest, and you got everything that you want. You can clearly tell that both Pizzolto and Lady Pizzolta are miserable in their marriage, and of course Lucy was witty enough to take advantage of that. So good job, Lucy. So yeah, I think it was a very cool theme to play around that, and it was definitely showed the whole empowering of the people, even though they're at a lower status. So it really doesn't, it's not about the lower status. It's about wits.
Yeah, exactly. Great. And does any relevance about this script that was written over 300 years ago for today and for contemporary society and current audiences? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I've actually noticed a lot of themes like this seems to be coming up more currently. Like, I don't know if you guys seen Squid Game for some reason, right? So it's another kind of movie where they kind of pitted the depths and then the riches, and then you see how power and control can really corrupt one another. Whereas here, it's almost like a reverse, where it's like they don't have the money, but they have the wits to kind of corrupt like the rich in a way, right? So I'm starting to see almost like two extremes being shown in the theme. Not much about the middle class, but just two extremes.
Yeah, definitely. And let's hear finally from Lady Pizzolta, Trina Moyen.
Thank you. First of all, this was super fun to do. So I thank you for having me and allowing me to play this little part. I wanted to just sort of echo the thoughts that Lucy had in terms of during this particular era. I mean, courtesans were accepted largely throughout society, and men and husbands, I mean, they were allowed to go and entertain themselves with them, etc. And I just really liked that Lady Pizzolta was willing to risk it all and to really express her sexuality and her needs during an era. And this really speaks to the playwright, when it would have been extremely dangerous. But I love that our playwright said, no, she's going to go ahead and express her desires, and she's going to take those risks because she's going to own her sexuality. So I just really appreciated that part of the story. I really did.
Yeah, it goes back to what Misa said about female empowerment. Like that's a very hot topic today, just as it was apparently over 300 years ago. So I do want to thank all of our readers and performers this evening and our audience for joining us. And before we go, I do love to end with a little quote by our featured playwright. Susanna Centlivre once said, "Want is the mistress of invention." And we will take it to Misa to leave with some closing music. Thank you, everybody.